Before I get into this commentary, let me give a shout out to Craig J for sending it to me, and we are going down to Florida yet again. I swear, it's just, I don't know what it is between Florida and Texas. And these two states right here seem to constantly be pumped through my channel so often. You would think that I pretty much do some kind of special commentaries that's linked to just those two states, as if I hop between both states, as if I have like dual stateship. I don't know if that's a real thing, but you know what I mean. But we have this Florida teen right here whose name is Noah Galle, or Galle. His name is spelled Galle, and he has been charged with the deaths of 6 people because he was driving his BMW at 151 miles an hour and was posting videos while doing it. So let's get into it. A Florida teen who allegedly drove his car at a speed of over 150 miles an hour is facing multiple counts of vehicular homicide after crashing into an SUV, killing all 6 occupants. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office alleges 18-year-old Noah Galle, who was 17 years old at the time of the incident, was driving a BMW M5 down the Delray Beach, Florida highway in January when he crashed into the back of a Nissan Rogue, causing it to flip multiple times. The crash killed Merlane Josias, age 45, Felaine Dew, age 46, Vanis Persina, age 29, Ramiz Michelle, age 53, Marie Lewis, age 61, and Michelle Saint, age 77. Galle entered a plea of not guilty to all 6 charges of vehicular homicide. According to a police report obtained by People, on the night of January 27th, Galle's vehicle did not brake and violently impacted the back of the Rogue at a speed of 151 miles an hour, forcing the rear of the SUV forward several feet into the passenger compartment. The SUV flipped several times before coming to rest upside down in the center median. Galle was transferred to a local hospital where detectives noticed his slurred speech, and emergency room staff smelled an odor of an alcoholic beverage on the suspect's breath. A doctor said that Galle confessed to driving 120 miles an hour at the time of the crash. So he was so drunk he only remembered himself going 120, not realizing he was going at least 31 more miles an hour over that. So, and now they said they smell alcohol on his breath, which means he was under the influence while he was driving. This guy is going to have, he has a lot of charges coming his way, which is why I don't know why he just pled not guilty. Clearly you are, but see, the thing is, watch that thing switch into a guilty plea, and then they probably going to offer him some kind of a plea deal. Upon inspection of the suspect's car, detectives said they noticed Galle advertised his Instagram handle m5.noah on the rear windows of the BMW. A person with information approached law enforcement and told them that Galle would record himself driving at high rates of speed and post the videos on Instagram and TikTok. The person also directed detectives to a video posted 2 weeks before the fatal crash in which Galle was allegedly speeding. He reportedly captioned the clip, "Whoever can guess the speed correctly wins $25 on Cash App." Detectives said additional social media videos show the suspect driving as fast as 182 miles an hour. Do you realize how fast that is? Especially in a BMW. Now, before I go any further, let me just get this out right now so I don't forget it by the time I get towards the end of reading this article. Do y'all remember the video that I did about the black woman a couple weeks ago who was driving and she would post images and videos and stuff for her online talking about she's like the best drunk driver ever or something like that, and then all of a sudden she ended up getting into a crash where she killed 3 people? I think that was in New Jersey. This story literally parallels right with that. Now, I think she was a bit older than him, but still the stories are very much similar. I don't know what it is with a lot of people who are like a lot of this younger generation, where they literally are living life in the fast lane, but they think doing stuff like that is just the most liberating thing ever, not realizing that there can be casualties from this. Or just like the one out in Vegas, was that a football player? I think that was a football player, the one who was driving his car and he was doing some very, very high rated speeds in a residential neighborhood where he ended up running over this woman, killing her. And I want to say that she had a child with her. No, the dog. He ran over a woman who was walking her dog, and I think she died and the dog. And again, another young individual living life in the fast lane, and I think he too was under the influence. So I don't know, and his was way more worse because he was in a residential neighborhood. Like, what were you thinking doing those kind of speeds in a residential neighborhood? At least these two were on, well, I don't know if she was on the side street or not, but still, at the same time, they were driving at these high rated speeds, and people died because of what they were doing. And they literally, in those moments, weren't thinking about anybody else but themselves at that moment. And now they're going to have to pay the price, or at least they should. During a court appearance earlier this month, the defense reportedly argued that Galle is suicidal and should be released to his family. Since the night of the accident, Your Honor, he's had a very difficult time dealing with the tragedy, and he's been seeing a psychiatrist, defense attorney Liz Parker reportedly said. During the hearing, family members of the victims also addressed the court, per the outlet. This has been a very, very hard situation for my whole family. My sister and I and my daughter, Marie Lewis's daughter, Lindy Lewis, said. She's 8. Every time she comes home, she's been asking, why can't grandma come back, Mom? My mom was a very loving and devoted woman. She added, I think that the defendant should be in jail and not at home. I agree. We can't see our families now, and why should he? This is a very reckless crime, and not just for my mom, everybody's lives. We need justice. The station reported that Merlane Josiah's niece, Clarina Mark, also spoke on behalf of Josiah's husband. This situation has essentially broken his family, Mark said. Merlane has left behind a 10-year-old daughter who has to be essentially raised without her mother. He just wants to have justice for this situation. A judge ordered Galle stay in jail, where he is being held on a $300,000 bond. And that's exactly where he needs to be. I don't care if they say he's suicidal. Where was this suicidal before he did all of this? Apparently, he must have been suicidal for him to be driving at them high rated speeds while driving intoxicated and, posting stuff on TikTok. Or was he? My notion or my thought process is leaning more to the latter. This guy is not suicidal. They're only saying that now because now he has to take responsibility for his actions. For him to say he's suicidal, and let's hypothetically say he was to take himself out, that would be a cowardice move on his part, because that means he couldn't deal with the consequences of his actions. He should have known better. He's 18. He was 17 when it happened, but he's 18 now. So either way, you should have known not to get behind the wheel of a car while under the influence and driving at them high rated speeds. Like, he was really going extremely. He was almost hitting 200 miles an hour in a BMW. And he ended up crashing into a truck, and it killed all 6 people in it. Do you know how hard you have to hit a truck to do something like that, and how fast you have to be going? And they always say that you can tell how fast someone is going by how the impact looks on the car, because they said if the car looks like a crushed soda can, like you took a soda can and crush it with your hand or step on it and it flattens out. If your car looks like that, that means you were going extremely fast. Either you were drag racing or you probably were under the influence. And the crazy thing is, like I said, all 3 stories that I mentioned, including this one, all of them were under the influence of something when they crashed. He was under the influence of alcohol. The one in Jersey, she was under the influence of alcohol. And I believe the one in Vegas, I think he was under the influence of alcohol as well. And they all have something else in common. All of them are still alive and breathing. And they all should face the consequences, because in the situations they all were all involved with, all the people they hit died. So his punishment should not go in unpunished, I should say. Let them face the consequences of their actions, because they'll continue to let them skate on by, then they'll never own up to anything that they do. And that's my take on it.